What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my website, ckwrapstoronto.com. We have a mailing list there, and you can sign up for promotions, exclusive offers, discounts, that kind of stuff. Now I'll put a link in the description below. So today what I want to do is test these films in ambient room temperature. I have 4 different brands here, all gloss finish, cut pretty much exactly to the same size. So one is a little bit shorter, which is this blue one on top, but the length of the film won't really matter so much as the width, because we're going to be measuring resistance here. Which of these films stretches a little bit more easily when it comes to just trying to stretch it in room temperature, and how much it resists you, and does it break without adding any heat, okay? So we're sitting at a nice 72 degrees Fahrenheit in here, recommended room temperature by all of these brands. So you're going to want to make sure that if you're wrapping a car, you're within a certain temperature range. You can be hotter, it just makes the film more sticky, but colder makes it more fragile. So again, we're at recommended room temperature by these brands, and which is roughly about 21 degrees Celsius, so it's comfortable. Now, I'm not wrapping this car. You'll notice there's some body work here, and yes, you can wrap over this. It's a flat part of the car, it's not in a recess, just so you know. I might as well talk about it because you guys are going to ask. Yes, you can wrap over this. It's on a flat part of the car, and it's not going to have a lot of tension or resistance on it. Would I warranty it if something were to happen? No, again, I can't warranty anything that's not a painted surface, or I don't warranty anything that's not a painted surface or a high energy smooth surface. Okay, so let's get back to the point here. So these 4 brands, I have Vivid in the bluish purpley, 3M in the silver, and Oracal in the red, which I did the iris in, and then Avery in the, it's like a Viper lime green. I can't remember the name of the color. It might be called that now, or it's just called lime green. Now, again, these films are all about the same width, and what we're doing here is we're basically measuring the resistance and how much I have to pull to get these films to stretch. So we're going to start off. These are all approximately the same thickness, Avery being the thinnest by far, not by far, but by enough that it makes a significant difference in its pliability in room temperature, okay? So you're gonna notice that when I do it. You can't compare the pliability of Avery to other brands. It's just not gonna happen. So it's on its own when it comes to that. Mainly, these other ones are going to have a lot more resistance, and we're just gonna see how they hold up. It's nice to know because we wanna be able to free stretch sometimes, or cold stretch essentially. So what I'll do here is I'll take the Vivid and I'm going to anchor it to the car, okay? What I'm looking for here is any kind of give or pliability in this film. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull on it really, really good, and I'm going to slap a couple of magnets down to anchor it just in case, so I don't pull it off the car. Now, I want to pull on it, I want to see how much give it has. Okay, it doesn't have a whole lot right now. As soon as we add heat, yes, we get give. So I can pull on it pretty good. I can move the whole car. Okay. That's a lot of effort there. Yeah, it's gonna start to stretch a little bit, but again, there's quite a bit of resistance there. Let's get rid of that one. I'll just slap that over there. Let's do some Oracal. Again, good to know, just more so the pliability of these films, as every brand is slightly different. They're not going to be the same, okay? So, right off the bat, feels less rigid. That Vivid color is a thicker color out of all of them. It's the thickest film that there is here. The finish on it is much deeper, so pros and cons to thicker and thinner films. Very important, because with a thicker film, you can get more depth, not always, depending on the brand you go with, but there is more film there to embed more color into. The thinner the film, the less there is. And so some thin films can actually bleed the paint color through. So you have to make your selection sometimes based off of that. Avery has been known in the past for bleeding color through, and I've done many cars with it. Now, I'm gonna just give this a pull here. And that's definitely, you can see that stretching, pulling on it really good, okay? So that's got a lot of stretch to it. Nice give. This is, I think, like 3.4 mil, and this is 5, okay? That's a big difference. Let's go with the thinner of them all, and let's go with some Avery. So you'll notice how Avery uses a white adhesive. This is to prevent color bleeding through, okay? You'll notice that certain colors will have different adhesive colors. Sometimes it's mainly just to hold the pigment and then not bleed it through. So let's go with the Avery here. Slap the magnets down. And let's give it a stretch. Look at that, that's just going. So pretty crazy stuff, right? We can take this film and just stretch it really freely without any heat. It's beneficial when you're doing bumpers. Again, I'm not worried about it snapping or breaking or anything like that. It's got good stretch to it. Let's slap some 3M on here and see how this one does. Anchor that one down. Again, all the same width, and I even put them side by side after so you can see. So let's go with the 3M. Oh my God. That just happened. So the film is fragile, okay? This makes it challenging, okay? This does not make it easy. The film basically exploded. And again, I'm not trying to pick on the film here or the brand. I'm just simply showing you guys facts, okay? These are facts. Is there pliability to this? Yes, but it is fragile. And this is an adequate room temperature. You can see how much Avery stretches in this really nice room temperature that we're sitting in right now. And then this one just snaps in room temperature. If it's hotter, it'll be less likely to snap. But any colder, it becomes very difficult to work with, okay? So you've kind of got to keep heat around the area if you're going to be pulling hard on the film. I didn't even pull that hard on the film. That was like, it didn't even give me a chance to pull hard on the film. So I pulled much harder on all these cars, so hard that I could move the car. Sorry, I pulled much harder on all these colors, so hard that I could move the car, and this one didn't even give me a chance to move the car. I know it's probably going to get a ton of thumbs down, but again, this is more just for educational purposes. You know, you can see how the film frayed. We'll just bring that in. So it's kind of gone to all kinds of different pieces, like glass almost, like it exploded, right? So, I mean, can I make it happen again? Yeah, so I mean, I kind of already ripped it, so I don't know if that's fair, but it's doing something very similar. It's, again, something you have to keep in mind when you're working with different brands, that they're all going to work differently. Does it mean that 3M is bad because of this? No, you have to just, and it's not bad because of this, okay? Let me make that clear. I have other issues with that, is not that. What I wanted to do is show you that there is a different style to approaching your wrap. And when you do approach a 3M wrap, it's good to know something like this, because you're going to want to take a bit of extra care so this doesn't snap, so you don't snap a bumper halfway through. It's happened to me many times where I've been pulling on a bumper and, you know, heating a certain area, but the other area is lifted off still, and I'm not heating that area over here. So let's say this area is flat and I don't really need to stretch it at all, and I come to the kind of the corner of the bumper over here where I start needing to add a bit of heat to contour it around. Well, if I'm heating in this area so I can contour it around, but this area is not getting any heat, it should pretty much stay still. It'll stretch a little bit, but it has snapped in this area so many times behind the area that I'm heating. And, you know, sometimes you just can't help it. It happens. So something to keep in mind, guys. And I'll just show you that these are all pretty much the same width. I mean, within a millimeter or so. Because this is important, because again, if one was wider, let's just say all these were wider and this was a thinner piece, there would be more resistance on all these pieces, and so they would probably be less likely to snap. But I did measure all these out and cut them as straight as possible. So this way we could be fair with our test. Again, I hope this video had some information for you, and again, that's what I'm kind of here for. These are little things that I've picked up and learned along the way, things that maybe other people won't show you or can't get out to you. So here I am trying to show you some pros and cons of different film types. Again, doesn't stretch as easily, stretches a little bit more freely, stretches very easily, and breaks under tension without adding heat, okay? So things to keep in mind. You can't even see I didn't even overstretch the film. I didn't even get to a point of overstretching the film. So again, we're very comfortable in here right now as far as the room temperature goes. And again, if this video was informative to you, don't forget the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget the subscribe button. I'm sure it'll get a ton of thumbs down, but hey, I'm not trying to pick them out. This is just an actual fact. This is something that actually happened, okay? And this is what I'm showing you. Guys, I thank you for watching. Again, take care.